to pick a new avatar.
I did. I don't remember which one I picked, but I did pick a new one. Oh, I know who I picked. It's very fitting for me. I messed around with it when we were discussing the avatar misnaming weirdness bug earlier.
Cool.
So yes. All right. It says I'm streaming. I don't have a buzzy wrist yet. Oh. It appears that we are streaming.
We'll see what the chat says.
All right. Are you guys hearing us? Because it seems like we're live. Actually, we didn't do a sound check. I have to make sure. I noticed when I was rewatching the stream from last week that I was quieter than I should be at many times. So I have to make sure that I'm speaking directly into the microphone.
Agent Panic says we are streaming.
Woo! Streaming!
They're discussing the CGI of Back to the Future.
Yes, I posted
Part
a
3.
thing.
Oh, you did? Okay.
It was like a supercut of terrible 90s CGI to give them something to talk about while that was happening. All right, so how's everybody doing this fine Tuesday evening? I hope well. I'm doing pretty well. You?
It's almost December. Crazy.
I know.
Can you wait until 2016 is over?
Seriously, 2016, like no fooling. 2016, I think, will go down in history as one of the worst years ever. And this is not a political statement, because that is one thing. But I just think of all of the amazing artists we lost this year, from like Alan Rickman early, I think that was like January, February, to David Bowie and Prince. I mean, it's ridiculous. And we just lost, who was that violinist? I just saw like a week ago. It's ridiculous. It's not been a good year. But it's almost over, and hopefully 2017 will be better. I mean, fingers crossed, we'll see how it goes in the United States, but anywho. Yeah, before we get actually started, I'm going to once again abuse my position to send everybody to my personal YouTube channel, Fastcast. If you guys aren't watching Westworld or Black Mirror, I recently reviewed Doctor Strange and Arrival, which if you guys haven't seen Arrival, worth seeing.
I do want to see Arrival, but it hasn't been playing around here as much.
Aha.
Have you seen the Fantastic Creatures?
No, it's on my list, but that's one that I'm not going to be able to convince
basically
Lisa to go see. Arrival, I was actually like, the reviews were 100% positive, and so it was easy for me to convince her to go.
Wouldn't your kids want to go to the Harry Potter one?
I actually have to look it up. It depends. With the way it works with the Harry Potters and my kids is on the books. I read the books with them starting in 2nd grade, and as they get older, I read more books with them. And when they finish each book, I let them watch each movie. But the movies starting at around 5 are not, in my opinion, suitable for kids under like 10.
Yeah, this movie is very not dark at all.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm trying to think if there is anything scary.
Yeah, I was going to look it up. I go to a website called commonsensemedia.org, which has like way better than like PG and R. It's got like actual like in-depth ratings for different types of movies and different age groups and all the rest of it. And so I know that Audrey, my oldest, she would love to see it. I have to see. I might take my oldest and my middle kid, Xander. They're 8 and 10, and I think that they might both enjoy it. I think Violet is probably still a little too young. She's only 5. So.
Yeah. I basically just like a bunch of zany things happen. Like that's the movie. So it doesn't really have any darkness to it that I
Yeah, the
remember.
trailer looked solid, so it's definitely on my list. This was one that, as with this, as it was with the Star Wars movie last year, I want to see it first and then decide if I think it's okay for my kids. So that's kind of what I'm gonna do, I think. And I don't know when I'm gonna get a chance to see it because I don't think it's gonna be this weekend. What with, American Thanksgiving and all.
Mm-hmm.
I say American Thanksgiving because, as those in the chat who know us well know, our company is sort of half American, half Canadian, and Canadian Thanksgiving was a month ago, and American Thanksgiving is this week. And, we like to not make assumptions. So we don't say the real Thanksgiving is now and Canadian Thanksgiving was a month ago. We just, we call them out for what they are.
Not like I'm in Canada right now anyways.
That's
I
true.
roasted a chicken today.
When is
contribution.
Croatian Thanksgiving?
It was today. I roasted a chicken. It was delicious.
Nice. Good time. All right. Yeah, I think that was enough patter. It's 5 after 7. I think we can probably get started. So, uh-oh. I lost my thingy. Where's my script? Oh, what did I do here? I was all set up, and then I opened a window, and I screwed everything up. All right. Here we are. So, everybody, it's Tuesday. It's 7-ish. So that must mean it's time to welcome you all to Sentinels Live. Thanks, as always, for joining us around the digital tabletop while we play... What game, John? What are we playing tonight?
Sentinels of the Multiverse.
Sentinels of the Multiverse. The goal of these streams is to have fun while showing you how to play the game, as well as covering some strategies that can help you win. At Handelabra, we do believe in being as inclusive as possible, so comments or activity actively working against that goal are not welcome and will simply not be tolerated. If you enjoy the show, please do push that like button, the share button, the follow, or subscribe. Tell your friends about us because we love sharing the love of Sentinels of the Multiverse. As we are the developers, you can also be sure to get some insight into the process and maybe even see some stuff before anyone else. And if our metrics on last week's stream are any indication, you guys are excited to see more Vengeance. So we will definitely do that tonight. The game does include a tutorial that covers the basics, but we always do our best to explain exactly what we're doing, when we do it, and why. And depending on how long it takes for us to win or lose, we often play more than one full game in a session. And episodes are somewhere between an hour and 2 hours typically. Sentinels of the Multiverse is currently available for iOS, Android, and PC, Mac, and Linux via Steam, and always via good old analog cardboard and ink, and you can get more info about the game at sentinelsdigital.com. So yeah, what I was mentioning there is that our YouTube posting of last week's stream, less than a week after it, already has twice as many views as our typical stream has like 3 weeks to a month after it's been viewed. So clearly, Vengeance is a highly anticipated, super exciting thing for everybody. So I think we should definitely show off some more of that tonight.
Well, there is one villain who we have not seen, and he's pulling into the station.
Indeed. Toot, toot. All right, so you'll notice this button that was empty last week now has a classic on it, and if you toggle that, that'll flip you over to team. So we know for a fact that we're going to play Fright Train, and so I think what we'll have you guys do is vote for the villain you don't want to see tonight, because then we'll use the other 3. Last week it was Baron Blade, Ermine, Friction, and Proletariat, and not Fright Train. So we'll do Fright Train and 3 of those. So the first, after this following comment, the first villain to get 3 votes will be the one we do not play. Or villain to skip tonight. Boom. Oh, they want to see some in-cap sides. Sure, so let's pop open Fright Train.
Well, and his front side, too. I don't think
I don't think we brought him
time.
up. Well, I think we brought him up big briefly, but yeah, we'll go into it a little bit more. So he starts off on his one-track warrior side, 35 HP. Setup. At the start of the game, Fright Train enters play one-track warrior side up. Engine of Destruction is put into play, and the villain deck is shuffled. At the end of Fright Train's turn, Fright Train deals the hero target with the highest HP 3 melee damage. And I'm not going to bother with advance for now, but increases damage. Ermine, done. Also my least favorite of the villains so far from Vengeance. And actually, there was some chat happening, I want to say on Reddit, asking about, are the Vengeful 5 the only team villains that will ever be available? And of course, the faithful know that Villains of the Multiverse will add another 10 villains to that. But if you're new to the multiverse, Vengeance was sort of, it actually started on the tabletop as a bit of an experiment. They weren't sure how popular this mode was going to be. They had it planned that they could make more team villains if it worked out, and it turns out it did. But so yeah, these 5, you can sort of mix and match them, put them in a different order. But then once Villains comes out, you'll have 15 villains to mix and match, which, I don't know, I can't do the math off the top of my head there, but that's a lot of permutations of different potential villain teams that you can play against. So.
Yeah, and in the storyline of Sentinels, Vengeance came out between Shattered Timelines and Wrath of the Cosmos.
Yeah, so when we moved things to digital, we went a little bit out of order, mainly for development reasons. We knew that, Wrath of the Cosmos was mostly, sort of standard gameplay, single villain. It obviously had some mechanical, challenges like the Bloodsworn Coliseum. But in general, it was like a villain was a villain was a villain. And we didn't want to have to tackle the team villain mode until we absolutely had to, quite frankly. And so that was why we kind of switched the ordering of those 2 expansions. So, all right, so Ermine is the one that's not going to be, so let's pull up the rest of these guys. If you weren't around last week, let's go through them real quick. We got Vengeful Baron Blade, the Evolved Madman. At the start of the game, Baron Blade enters play Evolved Madman side up. Genetically fused Physique is put into play. Cards are revealed from the top of the villain deck until a device is revealed and put in play. Other revealed cards are returned to the villain deck, which is shuffled. At the end of Baron Blade's turn, he deals the hero target with the lowest HP and himself 2 melee damage. Then we got Friction, the Anti-Tachyon. At the start of the game, Friction enters play Shockingly Speedy side up. Shock dampeners and stolen gear are put into play. The villain deck is shuffled. At the end of Friction's turn, Friction deals the hero target with the highest HP 1 melee damage. Then we got Proletariat, Absolute Zero's nemesis. At the start of the game, Proletariat enters play the Everyman side up. 2 cards named Proletariat are put into play. Villain deck is shuffled. Whenever this card would be dealt non-psychic damage, redirect the damage to the clone card with the lowest HP. At the end of Proletariat's turn, this card deals the hero target with the highest HP 2 melee damage. And actually, I forgot that one of the things that people had asked was to see the in-cap side. So here's the in-cap of Proletariat. These guys function similarly to heroes, not like regular villains. Regular villains have 2 different sides, and they can flip between them for different reasons. Every villain has sort of a different way that they flip. Sometimes you just have to whittle them down on one side, they flip over, and then you whittle them down again. Sometimes they flip back and forth like Omnitron. Sometimes they can only flip once. In the case of Gloomweaver, you have to get, 3 relics into play for Gloomweaver to flip. But Vengeance-style villains, or team villains, they have an in-cap side just like heroes. So at the start of Proletariat's turn, shuffle the hero trash with the most cards into its associated deck. Friction's in-cap side. At the start of Friction's turn, destroy 1 hero ongoing or equipment card. Baron Blade. At the start of Baron Blade's villain turn, each hero target deals itself 1 toxic damage. And Fright Train. At the start of Fright Train's turn, the hero target with the highest HP deals themselves 2 toxic damage. All right, so it looks like John has already picked his 2 heroes. He's got Horus Ra and Mr. Fixer. I think I'm going to play one of the new heroes tonight. So, as we've mentioned, I think last week, Vengeance not only comes with a whole new gameplay mode and 5 team villains, but it also comes with 5 new heroes. Now, obviously, Setback you guys have seen, because Setback came with the Season 2 preview pack, but that leaves us with 4 new villains to play tonight. Again, mechanically difficult is the Sentinels. This is a whole new team hero, somewhat like the Ennead on the villain side. They're not quite ready for prime time, so I don't think we're going to play the Sentinels. But I think we might play, I think I'm going to play the Naturalist. Because the Naturalist...
Been playing the Naturalist a bunch lately, getting some practice.
Yeah, I've been playing the Naturalist, and I think I really dig the mechanic that happens with the Naturalist. So we'll try the Naturalist tonight, and I think my second hero will be... You know, a very wise man once told me that Tempest is a good hero to bring along when you're dealing with multiple villains. So I think I'm going to do, actually, Prime Wardens Tempest. And actually, an update on the Prime Wardens, for those of you who are have been keeping up with that. All 5 of the Prime Wardens have been discovered, and I believe all 5 of their unlock conditions.
Yep.
Yeah. So if you're looking to get the Prime Wardens, go check that out. Obviously, you know, the 30-day rule is still in effect. If you find those story mode challenges to be too difficult, after 30 days you'll be able to unlock them with just a button press. But you can get them now if you are brave enough to try. All right, so now all we need is an environment. What do you think?
Is it random?
Like Realm of Discord.
That should be interesting.
Yeah, I actually don't mind that at all. All right, let's do it. Uh-oh. Oh, right, FPO. I was like, wait a minute. FPO. I've seen the far reaches of power. I will not allow evil to prevail. All right.
First platform only.
What's that?
We need some train puns for FPO. I'll get the chat on that.
Nice. All right, so Horus Ra starts with a blazing tornado, flesh of the sun god, scorched earth, and solar flame. The Naturalist starts with a feral fury, indomitable force, shifter strength, the predator's eye. We'll get into what those are in just a moment. Mr. Fixer starts with alternating tiger claw, bloody knuckles, grease monkey fist, and jack handle. And Prime Warden's Tempest has an aquatic correspondence, elemental subwave inducer, and into the stratosphere. So let's back up to Naturalist real quick, because I realized we didn't discuss him at all yet. So what is the Naturalist? What does he do? Transform is his power. Search your deck or trash for a form and put it into play. If you search your deck, shuffle your deck. So what does that mean, form? So he has these cards that have forms on them, like, for instance, the Deadly Crocodile, or the Formidable Rhinoceros, or the Nimble Gazelle. And you'll notice these cool little icons on it. There's the Gazelle one is this red, the Rhinoceros is this purple rhinoceros, and the Crocodile is this green crocodile. And what that is those icons are matched to various different situations on some of his one-shots and some of his ongoings that allow you to activate different sort of form-related powers and abilities based on which form is currently active. So we'll get into more of how that works mechanically as we play, but that's sort of what you need to know about the Naturalist, is that he can be multiple different types of hero in the game based on which form he has in play. All right, so let's hit start game and see what we get. And I'm going to catch up on the chat because I've been reading a lot on screen text.
They're talking about the physics of Fright Train.
Mm-hmm.
And puns.
So Hankroyd says, I thought there was a rule that Baron Blade put himself in first position when in a team. Did I dream that?
And I answered earlier, and I said, we asked Christopher, and Baron Blade going first is a recommendation, not a hard rule.
Aha! There you go.
Not sure why the question got asked again, but I did answer that.
Well, not everybody is always completely caught up. Okay, so Crushing Blow comes out, and of course Engine of Destruction is the card, his ongoing card that comes out in his setup, which not only increases damage dealt by Fright Train, but also damage dealt to Fright Train. So a lot of times he's a favorite for people to go after first because he's easier to whittle down thanks to that card. All right, who should take this?
Either one, they both can heal.
That's fine. Naturalist can get things started tonight.
He gets the other hit.
Yep. All right, so Horus Ra, obviously, you know, regular Ra has a damage-dealing base power. Horus Ra has Sunrise, draw 3 cards, discard 2 cards. So no base damage, but definitely a good way to sort of churn his deck.
I do have a damaging power available right away, though. Though Drawn to the Flame is really good in this mode. I will go ahead with Blazing Tornado. Start off.
So as you guys saw last week, you know, one of the really, really different things about VillainTeam mode is getting the cadence down, where it's like hero, villain, hero, villain, hero, villain. Because, you know, when you play regular mode, what we're maybe potentially calling classic mode at this point, it's very easy to get into a thing where it's like the villain does a bunch of stuff and then the team gets a chance to sort of like plan out and strategize and like get cards into play and deal some damage. It's not like that in VillainTeam mode. In VillainTeam mode, it's, you know, you are all hands on deck all the time. Okay, so one of the things that I have been using Naturalist to great effect lately has been this Indomitable Force. Reduce damage dealt to the Naturalist by 1 at the start of your turn to destroy this card, but then it also has a Rhino power on it, or a Rhino effect on it. Whenever damage would be dealt to a hero target, redirect it to the Naturalist. And if I play that and get the Rhino into play, the Rhino also reduces damage by 1. So that's a sum of 2 damage reduction, so he basically becomes your tank when he's in Rhino mode, if you can get the right cards out. Then you've got Feral Fury here. The Naturalist deals 1 target 2 melee damage, and then with the Crocodile in play, the Naturalist deals 1 target 2 toxic damage. So this is when he becomes his damage dealer. And then in Gazelle mode, he kind of goes in a couple different directions. Gazelle helps him draw cards, although Rhino also helps him draw cards, but Gazelle also helps him heal up. So it's a couple different ways that you can sort of play him. Given what I have in my hand right now, I think I'm probably gonna...
Keep in mind, Impulsion Beam is in play.
Ah, yes. Good point. Yeah, I think I may... stupid Impulsion Beam. Well, yeah, his power is put into play, so if I... Indomitable Force. I was actually thinking of Indomitable Force and then Crocodile, so that can be set up for a Predator's Eye or a Feral Fury next turn. And we don't have Ermine, so she's not going to be killing all of our ongoings. Although I think there is some ongoing destruction in these villains, yeah?
Yeah, Friction and Baron Blade can. And when Friction is incapacitated, she destroys ongoing increments.
Right. All right.
Hank Royd says, I wonder if the picture changes when a form is in play. You might have spotted that.
Yeah, that moved on pretty quick. It's only when it's in hero mode, so you'll have to check it again.
Play the top card of each villain deck. Awesome.
Fun times. Yeah, you'll notice we have some new multiplayer icons. John, being the coder, has of course chosen Parse. And I, being a sometimes Baron Blade, have chosen Vengeful Baron Blade.
Here, Baron Blade wants to destroy our things at the start of his turn.
Ugh.
Send in the clones.
So many clones. Yeah, so another comment that I saw when people were watching the villain team mode from last week was that, again, and we'll echo this from last week, is that, as fun as this mode is on the tabletop, it's a lot of bookkeeping. And so I've read a number of people are very excited to see this come to the video game because it means they'll play it more often than they do on the tabletop, just because, the sort of friction that is caused, no pun intended, by having to have 5 villains to track and all the extra ongoing effects and all the extra, stuff going on can sometimes be a little bit much for, a sort of a casual game night. And I will say, I played Vengeance mode once on the tabletop way back when I first got my copy of Vengeance. I actually tried to solo it. I tried to play a solitaire game of Vengeance, and that was a huge mistake. I think I got like 2 turns in, and I was like, this is just not going to work. Because I think I've talked about it before, is that I don't actually have a lot of people that are into the same kinds of games like this, and so it's hard for me to find people to actually play on the tabletop. Anything, frankly. I actually got my wife to play Bottom of the Ninth with me because she was a softball player in high school, so I thought there would at least be that in, and she was still kind of like, eh. She likes catchphrase and pretty much nothing but catchphrase. All right, so, So do I Aquatic Correspondence to set myself up for my Arc of Power, or do I Into the Stratosphere one of these annoying cards?
Are you planning to use Arc of Power this turn?
Well,
because you can't with the Impulsion Beam.
Oh, right, because of the Impulsion Beam. All right, so why don't we... what would be the best choice for me to send into the Stratosphere?
I'd probably send Obsessive Planning.
Yeah, I concur with that assessment. Let's do that. Alright, so Obsessive Planning at the start of the Baron Blade's turn, destroy 2 hero ongoing and or equipment cards. So, get rid of that. Deal him 1 damage. And yeah, since we can't use that, thanks to the Impulsion Beam, I'll just skip.
Ooh, this is going to hit them all the time.
Nice.
It'll hit us too, but... Oh, this is this card set in this environment? It looks like it. Maybe not. Maybe it's the Ruins of Atlantis. There's the Kraken.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Oh, and Victor is out. He's annoying. Increasing damage dealt to hero targets.
Oh, and he has an added ability if Tempest is in the game. Let's bring him up real quick. Where is he? Is he? Yeah, he's a Proletariat. At the end of Proletariat's turn, destroy all hero targets with 2 or fewer HP. If Tempest is active in this game, increase damage dealt to hero targets by 1. He is also, he's a card in Grand Warlord Voss's deck, right? Or am I imagining that?
He's a character. It's a different card, though.
Right. It's a different card, yeah.
Can you vote?
Oh, sorry. Where am I? Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. Real Fan of Fanatic asked, did the backgrounds get upgraded? Why, yes, they did. Yeah, in preparation for Vengeance, we needed to have more backgrounds to show, because there can be up to 11 potential places to show an environment background. So Jennifer has been hard at work going back through all the environments and looking up, setting up new cameras and setting up new views and doing all kinds of cool stuff.
Victor is rough. Maybe we should kill him.
Yeah. Yeah, so and that's one of the things that John, I remember, had said to me earlier, was that, like, a lot of times the strategy in Vengeance or Villain Team mode is to ignore the targets and go after the villains, but sometimes there's a couple that are just like, you got to get those out of the way. Like for instance, one of the ones with Friction I often go after is Shock Dampeners, because a lot of her stuff, she actually can damage herself unless her Shock Dampeners are out, because those make her immune to lightning damage. But she deals a lot of lightning damage to herself if you can get rid of that card. Living Conflagration.
I am blowing up Victor.
Oh yeah, they say Victor hates Mr. Chomps. Yeah. Oof, that's tough. All right, so Obsessive Planning comes out again, which is kind of fine. I mean, you know, we into the stratosphered it, but it's if we can get rid of it again before the beginning of his turn, that would be useful. Yeah, Speedy Olrak says in Boss's deck he increases damage dealt by villains by 1, so that, yes, that would make sense. All right, so oh good, this just gives me an extra instance of damage, so I can get rid of Victor and then deal some damage to something else. Unless I do Blitz.
I already got rid of Victor.
Oh, you did? Okay. So I'm sorry, I'm trying to read ahead because I'm still not 100% versed in what some of these cards are. So Naturalist, Predator's Eye, increase damage dealt to 1 target by 1 until the start of your turn. You may draw up to 2 cards if Naturalist deals. Oh, right. This is the one where you can draw cards, and then depending on how many cards you draw, you can deal more or less damage. All right, what's our next most important target? Impulsion Beam is something that I hate. Fiery Passion of 1,000 Burning Suns, but if we want to focus damage on someone else, I'm okay with that too.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to destroy Impulsion Beam, we could. You could do it on your turn and still hit something else.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if I Yeah, so if I Feral Fury it,
You'll destroy it.
I'll destroy it, and then I can use the Deadly Crocodile's base power to do some more damage. Okay, good. That's what I'm going to do then. Fourth highest. Proletariat. Alright, so let's get rid of that Impulsion Beam. And again with the Impulsion Beam. And then we'll keep the Crocodile out for now, although I might want to switch into some healing pretty soon, depending on what I draw. And let's see. Next.
I would keep hitting Fright Train.
Yeah, we can get Fright Train out of there pretty quickly, I think.
Though we're demoing him, we want to kill him.
Well, that's okay. We'll demo his in-cap side.
And Fiction destroys our ongoing cards.
Well, she's only got one card in her trash, so she can't have that many Surge cards.
Maybe it's 0. It's 1. Do you want to keep your Crocodile?
Yeah, I was going to say I might... Hang on, let me bring him.
I don't really need Living Conflagration either, so...
Yeah, I mean, all the cards I have in hand are Crocodile cards right now, so I think I'd like to keep it if that's cool.
I allow it.
All right.
Well, and Revenant.
Actually, I'm going to back up and pop that up real quick because this is something we mentioned last week, but I'd like to mention it again. This is a new type of card, a new type of keyword, Nemesis. Increased in this one in particular, increased damage dealt by the villain target with the highest HP by 1, but then it has this second effect. If Setback is active in this game, increased damage dealt by villain targets by 1. Setback, thankfully, is not in this game, but there are other Nemeses that have been out that have been causing us difficulties. All right, fourth highest.
Environment's just destroying proletariats for us now.
Yeah, this is an interesting environment. I remember when this one came out, and because it really just can completely change the tide of battle depending on which of these distortions come out. You know, negative energy field deals damage. Positive energy field is healing up stuff. You know, it also has. I was really hoping when we landed on this environment, I was hoping for imbued vitality because that would help us get rid of some of those ongoings that can be annoying that the villains can put out.
Well, and they can destroy ours too.
Yeah. That's true. It's true. Jack Handle.
Here, I could deal psychic damage straight to Proletariat, but I want to take out his thing, so...
Yeah, Proletariat can be interesting because if you can manage to finagle him into a position where he has a bunch of clones in play but very low HP, his clones will take him out for you.
That is not where he is right now.
That is not where he is right now, but that is a potential strategy. Hermetic. At the end of Proletariat's turn, each hero deals itself something. Some kind of damage. It went away too.
Infernal damage. It's happening now.
Fun times.
But
oh,
Mr.
right.
Victor doesn't do that.
Ha ha ha. All right, yeah, get that clone out of there. Bill Sorcier says, Fixer, I heard he was the worst character. Clearly, you didn't read some of the reviews of Sentinels Multiverse, the video game, where they said that clearly it was obvious that Tachyon is the worst character.
She can't even deal any damage. She's the weakest.
Seriously, like, why would you even use her? All she does is, like, draw cards and discard cards.
And do 1 damage. Useless.
Totally useless. All right, so... I don't really have much in hand that I would play other than Otherworldly Resilience. So I think I'm going to Aquatic Correspondence and hope that I can get some interesting stuff. Yeah, one of the things that I remember, like, you know, I know you and Christopher, I remember joking about it, like, who needs all these HPs? And it really is true. Like, I feel like most games of Sentinels don't really get good until your heroes are, like, right around 10 HP. Because that's when it's like you're really fighting for your life, and, you know, a lot happens in that phase of the game, in my opinion. All right, let's see. I feel like... Yes, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play Ball Lightning.
Why wouldn't you play Resilience first?
Oh, well, I was only going to play 1 card. I guess I could play Otherworldly Resilience first. That would be a net of 4.
It's totally worth it.
Yeah, all right, fair enough.
1 more damage to have that in play.
All right. Oh, no. Oh.
I clicked on what you
Yeah,
wanted.
no, that's fine. I went back 1 too far. All right, so Friction and Ra.
Speedy Olrak asks, why are you still in a negative field? Because it's not the environment turn yet.
Yep. All right, so...
That's the turn order of team mode. You have villain, hero, villain, hero, villain, hero, and environment at the end. The environment doesn't go very often.
Yeah, so it wasn't just 1 damage. It's... Granted, it is on the net, it is more towards them, but that's going to start changing pretty soon, I have a feeling.
What? It is 1 more damage.
It is 1
It's
more
3.
damage to me, but then it's another card in play, which means the negative energy field is going to do more damage. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, to them mostly.
To them mostly, but not entirely. So yeah, this is where it switches, actually.
It's generally better for us, I think. So...
Okay, so I should hit Friction with this lightning damage, right? Oh, no, wait. We haven't got the shock damagers out yet, so I think we'll just focus again on Friction with this. But or no, I'm sorry, not Friction, Fright Train. And then, let's see, which of these are the best? We definitely want to get rid of Obsessive Planning for sure. And the Hermetically Fused Pantsuit, I think, is the second choice, yeah. Yeah, Speedy Sidestep is one that I feel like I always want to get rid of, but I find that I'm not typically dealing her enough damage to trigger it.
Yeah.
So it usually ends up on the balance being alright. Spinning Vortex.
And the negative energy field sticks around.
Yeah, this has been my experience of typical villain team mode games with this, is that you kind of whittle all of them down, and then there's Baron Blade standing strong.
That's pretty common. I want my Blazing Tornado. Don't take my Blazing Tornado away from me.
What do I have in hand? Yeah, still all crocodiles. Yeah, I'm gonna.
This is self-damage, so it's +1, just so you know.
Yeah. I'm gonna look at my things again. Actually, yeah, here. So someone was asking, like, are there form stuff? You can see the crocodile there on on the Naturalist. Yeah.
I mean, you have shifter strength. You can get some other stuff. I'm not for Mr. Fixer because it's self-damage. Yay! I don't think the order's going to matter here. Well, Freight Train is going to go down.
Nice. Yeah, and I'm glad that shock damagers will be gone. Yeah, Cytosine says that's the problem with this game. No choices at all. Yeah, you just always play your best card, right?
It's obvious.
It's obvious. It's totally clear. I mean, to be fair, there are a lot of scenarios where it's like, this is obviously the card to play. But there are as many, at least, scenarios where, you know, you could do something crafty and, you know, do something that might not seem on the face of it to be the smartest choice. But, you know, it's a team game. There's a lot. It's not just one-on-one. It's not like, you know, I don't know, Magic the Gathering, where it's like, okay, I need to play the best hand for my thing, and it's going to beat the best hand
vote,
for
please?
your thing. What's that?
You're on a rant, but can you vote, please?
Oh, sorry. I was not even at that thing yet. I mean, I don't want to get on a rant here, but yes. So much damage!
Yep, more self-damage for Mr. Fixer.
See, just like I said, the heroes are starting to get down to the 10 HP range, and that's when things start getting interesting. Yeah, we kind of decimated the villains there. And by we, I mean you, Mr. Fixer.
Yep.
Spiorek wants me to keep ranting. So anyway, as I was saying, it's one of the things I really love about this game, honestly, is that, like, you know, I mean, we've been in heavy testing now of the new heroes and team villains and in the new environments for the last couple weeks. I'd say heavy testing for the last week is when it really started to become a thing. And I've been playing game after game after game after game just to learn the new heroes and learn the new villains. And it is so much fun exploring how, like, I played a few games that's like the new team villains versus all 5 of the new heroes, or all 4 of the new heroes plus setback in one of the new environments. But I've also played a ton of extra games that are like, you know, regular villain versus 1 or 2 of the new heroes and some of the old heroes, just to see how some of the interactions work together. And it's so much fun trying to discover new tactics to use with different heroes, and, you know, how to play off of an environment with the new hero or something like that. It's just, yeah. You know, super props go out to Christopher and Adam for creating something that I think is really pretty great. So, all right, so let's see here. Should I shift your strength and maybe go for something else? Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to get rid of... Oh, right, yes, hit all this stuff. I'm actually going to do a full swap. So we're trying to show this guy off. Let's see some more of his cards. All right, we get Crafty Assault, another Shifter Strength, and a Threatening Stomp. Alright, so Threatening Stomp, that's Naturalist deals 1 target 4 melee damage, and then his Rhino, if he's in Rhino form, damage dealt by a target damage this way is redirected to the Naturalist until the start of your next turn. Or, Crafty Assault, the Naturalist deals up to 3 targets, 2 melee damage each, and you may destroy up to 2 ongoing cards. That definitely seems like the choice here. It looks like John has voted for it, so I'm going to go ahead and play that guy. Negative energy field goes off again, of course. Definitely going to hit friction with this. And look at that. It was looking like we weren't going to be okay, and it turns out we're actually more than okay. Nobody has any redirection or anything, right?
I don't think so.
Yeah. All right, and then I'll go ahead and... Actually, let me take a look at what's where. Nimble... Yeah, actually, I'm going to Nimble Gazelle. Just because... And there's my Gazelle form. Ooh, natural form's power. Cool. All right, and here comes Frictions in Cat Power to destroy a card. Yeah, I was gonna say it looks like Nimble Gazelle's the choice there. Unfortunately,
Sorry, Gazelle.
that's all right. It gave us fodder, so nobody else had to lose anything.
Negative energy field to drag, man.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen one. Well, and I don't think I've ever seen it out for this long, but it's only been 2 rounds because that's the way Villains plays. VillainTeam mode, excuse me.
It's true. This is the 3rd round.
Yep.
Proletariat reshuffles the Naturalist.
Ooh. I don't have a damage dealing 1 shot, unfortunately, so I think I'm just gonna localize Hurricane. And then... Oh, wait. Ah! Stupid! I was on autopilot. I hit the wrong power. Alright, so we'll hit Baron Blade for 3. And he's down to 2.
And we're at 3. And mostly.
Yep.
Yeah, Ra will finish him off unless the environment does. Explosive bubbles. Doesn't matter. The bubbles are going to win the game for us. The bubbles are on the highest. And Baron Blade. Meet explosive bubbles.
Go bubbles!
Not choose for me. Hit Baron Blade.
Alright. Goodbye, bubbles!
The Realm of Discord really evened the playing field there.
Yes. Alright, so there it is. Your second VillainTeam game. Now, I want to be absolutely clear. This endgame screen is not final. You'll notice there's no villains on this screen yet. That is still in process. We have lots of cool plans for how to make VillainTeam mode special. You've seen how the opening screen looks, but we haven't quite gotten to the endgame screen yet. So, because we're still in beta. Well, I guess kind of alpha, although we are beta testing some stuff as well. But still some UI to be developed. All right, so let's do a new game. And let's maybe go back to regular mode. And let's see, if we do the Naturalist again, why don't you play the Naturalist this time, and maybe we'll show him off in a different way. Who's his nemesis?
You could click on him.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. I don't know what that icon is.
Deadline.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Because Deadline is like destroy the
Eco-terrorist.
Eco-terrorist, exactly. All right, and then...
Eco-vandal, I guess. But yeah, he destroys the environment, by destroying the world.
Yep. I'm actually going to pop open my running totals spreadsheet, which I just recently updated last week, so I can get a feel for environmentally what we haven't played in a while. So let's see here. All right, environments, in terms of explicitly the number of... We've played in Rook City more than any other environment. That doesn't seem right.
That's because the chat always chooses it for us.
Yeah, but the numbers don't lie. Our least often played in terms of raw numbers is Dok'Thorath Capital. And that is actually, from a percentage perspective, almost as low. The other two are Megalopolis and Mars Base that are percentage-wise as low. So I think we should play in Dok'Thorath. That makes sense.
Sure.
Pull that up, Dok'Thorath. All right, so you're going to play the Naturalist. Let's see. I haven't played the Scholar in a while. I'm going to play the Scholar.
Cool.
And actually, I'm going to pick my second one now. I'm going to play Prime Wardens Fanatic.
Cool. I'm going to play Captain Cosmic.
Yes, the chat is being cheeky. Yes, the least played are Freedom Tower and Mobile Defense Platform. But I don't think we're ready to show those off tonight. Are we? Are we ready to show those off tonight? I don't think so.
Maybe next week.
Yeah, maybe next week. All right. Actually, I'm going to do like this.
You've already got 2 new things this week. Don't be too greedy.
Exactly. All right, so we got Deadline versus the Scholar, the Naturalist, Prime Wardens Fanatic, and Captain Cosmic at Dok'Thorath Capital. Oh, we should have put Naturalist in the first, although I don't know if we have that dialogue written yet. It is with great regret that I destroy your civilization, humans. It is the only way. Now let's all just sit back and think a spell. No need to get all riled up. All right, so Scholar opens with Bring What You Need, Don't Dismiss Anything, Grace Under Fire, and Truth Seeker. Bestial Shift, Feral Fury, Resilient Hide, and Shifter Strength for the Naturalist. Prime Warden's Fanatic has got an Absolution, Brutal Censure, Divine Focus, and Holy Nova. And Captain Cosmic starts with Harsh Offense, Sustained Influence, and 2 Vitality Conduits.
All right. Deadline does his thing.
He gets out his Atomic Enclave, and then he starts playing the Catastrophes. Ooh, Ataxia Sphere. Scholar's happy to take this early. He likes to be in the middle hit point region.
Well, now he's the lowest.
I mean middle of his hit points. I don't mean middle in terms of over compared to everybody else.
I think you could probably shuffle your trash into your deck.
Actually, yeah, I'm going to pop open that Ataxia Sphere because I don't actually know what that is. At the end of the villain turn, this card deals the hero target with the lowest HP 2 infernal damage. If a hero character card is dealt damage this way, the hero's player must either discard one change. Yeah, huh. I don't know that I've played Deadline enough to even know what that card is.
It's usually not too much of a threat, but Tachyon doesn't like it.
So especially
Tachyon kind of likes it.
So especially this early in the game, I would just don't dismiss anything and just see what happens. Get all those top cards into play and see what we're working with here. All right, boom. And we start with the Proverbs and Axioms.
See what you would have played.
End of Days.
You would have played End of Days.
Yeah.
Which isn't terrible.
Yeah. All right. This is such a weird thing. Like, okay, so do I regain 2 HP or deal myself 3 psychic damage to regain 1 HP? I'm actually going to do the second one so that I'm still low enough that if it comes to it later, I can have healing to do. All right, Naturalist, what would you like to do?
I can get a form out before my turn.
Yes.
Looks like the Rhino might be a nice one to get out right now, or the Crocodile. I'll go Crocodile right now.
Good music in Dok'Thorath Capital. Fanatic. Should I deal myself 3 psychic damage so that I can deal myself more damage?
Sure.
Yeah, this early in the game, why not?
And you can let the Naturalist use his Crocodile power to deal damage. Or use Absolution.
Oh, and I got Absolution out.
It's no difference, so whichever you want.
Yeah, we'll absolve someone of something. All right. Yeah, I think just go after him.
Not
Nice.
too bad.
Yeah, I'll take that.
All right, that was the top to cup card of the Scholar's deck.
Yep. All right, turn 1, still in process.
Oh, the Predator's Eye. That would have been nice to have before all that.
Yeah.
Oh well. Because it's the start of my turn momentarily. I guess I don't really need cards. I can do more damage. Quite a lot more damage. Because there's a Nemesis bonus.
Nice. Yeah, we'll put the top card to play. Ooh, Aegis of Resurrection. Fantastic. Don't put it on Fanatic.
Yeah. I think it's fairly safe to put it on the Naturalist.
All right. And I draw Keep Moving, and now we're on to the second turn of the game.
Yeah, I'm just going to keep hitting deadline for that Nemesis bonus. 12 damage on my first turn. Not bad.
I'll take it.
Cornered Beast. I like that. In Vengeance mode, Cornered Beast is great. There's always more villain targets.
Yeah, let me pop that open real quick. If there are more non-hero targets than hero targets, increase damage dealt by the Naturalist by 1 and the power to destroy a target with 3 or fewer HP. Cool. All right, so... Yeah, I feel like... Yeah, I'll Brutal Censure here. That's good. I would have played Final Dive. Oh, actually, I guess I have Absolution in play, so I guess I don't have to do that one. Unless we want to bounce a power off someone. Will you do more damage as the Naturalist?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, let's do that then. I'll bounce a power off of you. Divine Sacrifice. Why not?
That can be dangerous against deadline.
That's alright, I got my Aegis out.
You could still kill you.
He could, but that's right.
After the Aegis.
And we're on to Captain Cosmic.
Are you like moving things around or something? There's some.
I was reorganizing how I was sitting. Was
Okay.
there stuff translating through the mic? I apologize.
Yeah.
I was in the same position for too long, so I needed to move myself around a bit. Ooh, Vitality Conduit.
Would you rather that this be on Fanatic or the Scholar?
Oof. That's a good question. Fanatic for now. No, I take it back. Put it on Scholar because I have Keep Moving, so I'll probably do a what's his Redirector one?
Redirector?
Not Redirector. His like when he heals, he does damage thing.
You could look at his deck.
I could.
Mortal Form to Energy.
Mortal Form to Energy. That's the one I'm thinking of. Yes. Thorathian Military.
Well, I don't think the order's going to matter here.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it. And Authority Ziggurat.
The Authority Ziggurat attacks us, and the order does matter.
Yeah, we definitely want to hit Naturalist
Actually,
before the wounding buffer goes away.
It won't, though, because it's not a target.
Oh, yeah.
It won't do anything, so.
It's when we're hoping, when we wish it would be Prime Wardens, Captain Cosmic.
Then I wouldn't have so many constructs in play.
That's true. Yeah.
Or any. I guess I would have probably played a Vitality Conduit instead if I had.
Yeah, so I'm gonna keep moving to mortal form. And then I think I'm gonna Grace Under Fire. Not gonna get to hit that guy. Yeah, we'll just go after him. And then we'll heal for 1.
Let's see. There are an equal number of non-hero targets and hero targets.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I'm going to pop open one of these Bestial Shift, for instance, here. So this is a one-shot, and you'll notice it has different icons against different things. So this one-shot will do different things based on what is in play. So right now, the Naturalist will deal 1 target 3 toxic damage, and you may use a power now. One of the cool mechanics with the Naturalist, specifically, like, let's say you're playing in Time Cataclysm and Fixed Point comes out, you can actually have more than one form in play at once, which can cause all kinds of fun stuff to happen.
I'm going to discard a couple cards and see what I get. Cool. I like that.
Yeah, so some new small card icons as well here that we haven't mentioned yet. Obviously, you can see on the Naturalist, you can see his different form icons. So there's like a crocodile here. But then when there's a card that has all 3, you see that we've come up with this cool little hybrid animal that has the horns of the gazelle and the like face and horn of the rhino and the snout of the crocodile.
Are you thinking of final diving the military or anything like that?
I hadn't thought that far ahead yet, but yeah, looking what I have, I could totally do that.
Okay.
There you go, get rid of that Thorathian military, roll my deadline, and let's see. All right, if I throw you a power, that's going to be 1 more damage than if I Absolution, right?
Or more. I can hit 2 targets now.
That's true. That's right. You have that thing with 2, so let's do that. Ooh, Consecrated Ground.
Yeah, get rid of one of his things.
Yeah. Let's see. Calculate Orogenesis. That plays an extra card.
I would get rid of that subduction super zone.
Yeah,
will do more damage.
Irreducible. We'll get rid of that.
It's irreducible and has nemesis bonus against me. And you can ping all those things.
Numlove says, I want an Australian Naturalist forms, wombat, kangaroo, and drop bear. Nice. All right, and then, yeah, we're going to ping that off the Naturalists. The Gazorcarus. Good times. Yeah, that would be fun if we ever got to the point where we could actually make mods for this game, being able to come up with like other forms for a naturalist type character, like a penguin or a wombat or etc. That would be a really fun
All right, next Vitality Conduit, Fanatic or the Scholar?
Yeah, Fanatic, I would say at this point.
I could give her an Energy Bracer too.
Form of an Ice Dragon, sure. Yeah, this is reminding me why we don't play in Dok'Thorath Capital very often. So many cards that come out and just deal 1 damage or 2 damage to, like, everything. Alright, well, at least the Atomic Englave will be gone.
Yeah, I don't think Order... Well, there's... The Refugees we can redirect. Let's see. What's Deadline going to do? Deadline's going to try to destroy it as well. So I think the Refugees will just let them get hit.
Wah wah.
Unless you want to save them. I don't feel like I'm hurting for cards.
Candelabra as a company is in favor of saving refugees. Just not in this particular case.
Freedom Fighters.
Freedom Fighters.
Hitting us. Well, they can hit themselves. I don't think the order's not gonna. The order matters to hit Fanatic before the bracer gets destroyed. That's about it. Reshuffle trash into deck. And he's gonna flip.
And we're gonna catastrophize the catastrophes.
But luckily it's not all being redirected to Fanatic anymore.
Yes, that would have been not great. All right, let's see here. Yeah, I think. Well, do I want to bring what I need or Truth Seeker? I think I'm just gonna Truth Seeker. Do a little bit of damage. Get out of the way. All right. If we can get some more, let's get some more targets into play, and then I can do all kinds of fun stuff.
All right. Now that I have another power to use, I'm going to use Bestial Shift.
Yeah. Whenever I see Bestial Shift, I always think of. I used to be really into a band called Sepultura. I don't know if anybody here. It's Brazilian death metal. Their first album was called Bestial Devastation. That is way niche, so I don't think anyone is going to have any idea what I'm talking about, but that's okay.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Like half of their lyrics were in Portuguese, so I have no idea what they were singing about, but yeah, I think we're definitely going to Holy Nova here. All right, Agent Panic knows what's up. Roots, bloody roots. All right, yeah, I mean, I feel like I could get rid of the Ataxia Sphere, but I mean, with him so low.
It's not doing anything important.
All right, and Poot LaRue knows some Sepultura as well. That's awesome. Oh, I'm sorry, Bellasaur Sierra. I promise you we're not all like that. Oh, fantastic. Things are just coming up roses for us here, this game.
Deadline's down to 10. Make that 6.
Yeah, Roots, just to give everybody an idea of how old I am comparatively speaking, I don't know how old our audience is, but Roots came out the year I went to college. And I was into Sepultura probably 5 or 6 years before that, I want to say. So like 1990 was probably when maybe 91 was when I first started getting into them. I got into them right after I got into Metallica. I remember when I discovered Metallica and I was like, oh my god, music can be like that? And I was like, forever changed. And then it was shortly after that I discovered Sepultura, and I was like, holy cow, music can be like that.
Oh, come on. Deadline's at 1 health now.
Alright, good. So Putlaroo is an older dude like me. Or lady. I don't want to assume. Alright, let's see. Yeah, I mean, there really isn't any point to doing any of this, so we'll just skip, and then I'll get out of the way.
Do what you like.
And Deadline will be done. Oh man, I feel so awesome. I'm like a youngster compared to everybody. I'm not even 40 yet. I'm just almost 40. I'm like 6 months away from being 40. Among the head of lab rats, I am the elder god, like Raiden. I've actually been playing a lot of the Mortal Kombat lately, just because I rediscovered it on my Xbox One and I needed something to fill the time. For some reason, the last 2 weeks I felt like beating things up. I don't know what could have done it. Anyway, all right. So it is 10 after 8. How you feeling, John?
It's pretty late.
Pretty late. All right. So there it is, folks. You got to see tonight the fifth team villain that you hadn't seen yet, Fright Train, and we got 2 games in with the Naturalist. We got plenty more Vengeance stuff to show you over the coming week. So keep tuning in, because we will keep showing stuff off for you.
Yep, more heroes, environments, more Vengeance gameplay, so perhaps even a phone version preview.
That would be pretty cool. Alright, so yeah, I guess that about does it for another episode of Sentinels Live. Sentinels the Multiverse, as you know, is the only cooperative comic book card game that you should be playing. Thanks as always for joining us. We do this every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. And if you do enjoy the show, please do spread the word. Like us, share it, follow, subscribe, etc., etc. Sentinels of the Multiverse is currently available for iOS, Android, and Steam, and always in good old analog cardboard and ink. And you can always find more info about the game at sentinelsdigital.com. You can follow me, Jeremy, at Mr. J Handel, that's MRJHANDEL, on Twitter. And you can follow John at MigrantP, spelled as it sounds, on Twitter. And
well,
so,
except not with like P's at the end.
Say it again?
It's not Migrant P, like with like P.
Isn't it?
It's just a letter P.
Yeah, just letter P. Migrant.
Don't highlight the word P.
Migrant P-E-E. Migrant P. There it is. All right.
Probably is on Twitter, I imagine.
You should
If
find
not,
that
I
person.
should claim it.
All right. So, yeah, I'm Jeremy.
Oh, there isn't. Someone's going to get it now. I'm John.
Saying good night. We'll see you next week. Thanks for joining us, everybody.